Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. Tonight, we are going to be discussing prices on food, prices on cars, prices on insurance, prices on life that continue to go up over the last week or so. Been getting a lot of comments on some other things in life that have been going up in price. We're going to talk about them. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who met me out at Grocery Outlet Bargain Market today. It was fun. It's interesting. I have a video coming out on that tomorrow morning. I don't want to spoil anything, but thank you to all of our viewers who stopped and said hi. It's really nice to meet some of you. It was really awesome. And for that, I really enjoyed the trip. But again, don't want to spoil anything. Don't want to spoil my review of Grocery Outlet or any of that. Going to keep that secret. That will be out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, guys. It really does help out our channel. It helps me and Jess spread our channel out across the world. We do appreciate it. So here in a few weeks, we are expecting prices to go up again on a lot of different products. We've seen a lot of good sales lately, a lot of good sales at Kroger, good sales at some other places. But we're seeing things kind of creep back up. We're seeing things kind of behind the curtain go up in price. Different things that we don't normally cover, like ice creams, dairy products. We're seeing butter prices already go back up. We're seeing, and if we don't see it go up, what is the other issue we're having? We're not seeing any sales. We're not seeing any sales on it, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Some of the prices are staying the same, but we're not seeing any sales. As that keeps going, my assumption, my theory of what's going to happen after the 4th of July, I'm thinking after that first week, I'm thinking mid to maybe 3 weeks into July, we're going to start seeing some more price increases. Just bringing this to your attention. We always talk about buying up the sales as we see them because of this. When we know, we've been tracking this for a long time. I've been tracking this for a long time now, for years. And about this time last year, and it was really literally right after the 4th of July where things started going up again. Not at the craziness of what it was in 2022. But in 2023 of last summer, we did see significant price increases on a lot of things that we hadn't seen price increases on. Like things in a while, since the initial blast of price increases in late 2021 and into early 2022. Pretty much the entire year of 2022, we were seeing prices nearly double on some products. We had a couple longtime viewers. I guess it had just hit you on your car insurance. Car insurance is going up like crazy. Like I said a few months ago, like my new plan, it went up $50 a month. That is 50% increase on my car insurance. That is ridiculous. And I had checked around, I had looked around, I checked everywhere, and it was just the way the prices were going up. And I wanted to mention this too, because I heard it on the news this morning. There was a news report as I was on my way out to Grocery Outlet. I had plenty of time in that crazy traffic. And it is a bit of a drive from here. It took me about 45, maybe about an hour to get there, but there was a little bit of traffic. So a couple longtime viewers had mentioned in the comments, I don't know if maybe this is like, because it's June, this is like that other 6-month point, right? As to where mine like renewed in January. A lot of people's car insurance will renew in January and then 6 months later in June. So I assume that's why we're getting more comments on this. And you were talking about how you can't afford it. Right? One of you was talking about how you can't afford it. I agree. It is ridiculously expensive. And the reason what they said on the news is because people are buying more expensive cars. And I started thinking to myself, how does that make any sense? So people are buying more expensive cars. How does that work? And they were talking about it costing more to fix. A lot of these cars like Cadillacs and BMWs and some of these other cars, that so many more people are buying them that they cost more money to fix. And that's why insurance companies were starting to charge more, because more and more people were buying more expensive cars. $50 a month? I'm sorry, but that is downright robbery. And it's like, that is crazy. It's like, okay, so all of these people are paying the same amount of money at the grocery stores as we are, right? Because it all comes back down to, what do we need in life? We all have to eat. We all have to eat. We all try to save money where we can at the grocery store. Some people are better off than others. Some people are worse off than others. Now, I always say that the people who know how to save at the grocery store are the ones who are worse off than others, because they have to be. They have to be. They have to count their pennies. They have to make sure that they're, some people live in day to day, week to week. Day to day is tough. Been there, done that. It's been a long time. I've tried to make it in my life to where I don't fall back to that. But you never know. You never know. You always, I feel like in some ways it's good that I've been there. It's good that I've been there. So if ever it gets to that point again, I have a little bit of an understanding of how I have to work it. It has continued my life of how I do work it and how things do work on how we buy stuff at the grocery stores. I don't overspend. I make sure that if there's one constant, right, of ways that we save money, that it's on food. So we can stretch our dollars more, because it isn't just food that's going up in price. It is everything else, guys. Everything. Our rent just went up. I won't say how much or anything, but it went up quite a bit. And I start looking at things and it's like, man. And then you start looking and you see in some of the houses that I looked at like months ago that have obvious issues because they haven't been picked up yet, are now going for like $6,000 or $7,000 more on a couple of different houses that we were looking at. And it's like, when you start factoring in that money, that's why we did the IKEA thing. And we're reorganizing and resituating, because who knows how long we're going to be here, but we're not going to be house broke. We're not going to be house broke. Guys, prices are just insane right now, and we just have to keep moving forward. We have to keep moving forward, pay within the means of what we can afford, and ride out the wave, I guess. This whole insurance thing, and it reminded me of my insurance and what I'm paying now for a car. I mean, much as I hate to say it, the only way that some of these prices are going to go down if people quit driving. Gas prices will go down. Insurance will fall like a Led Zeppelin. It will. It will. Unfortunately, we live in a world where that is harder and harder to do. My job requires me to drive. I have to drive a car to get to areas for my job. If I walk, it's going to take all day. I probably should walk. Be really good exercise. It'd have been insane. If I would have walked to grocery outlet today, that would have taken me 2.5 days. According to the GPS, when I was looking at it, it would have taken like a day and a half. But I factor in that I'm kind of slow, and I might take my time, and it's 95 degrees outside, so I would have to be walking in different public places so that I didn't die of a heat stroke. Meant for a joke, I know this whole thing, it's no real laughing matter, but you gotta laugh. It's either laugh or scream, right? And, as I'm going through today and just listening to this conversation that they're saying on the radio, I'm just thinking to myself, man, you guys don't get it at all. You guys don't get it at all. Like, they just go on and on about these different things. And then they started talking about the grocery stores. And I was like, oh, okay. Now you're talking about something that makes sense. Everybody's trying to balance out their lives to what their lives were before. All the rich who are now losing a point, right? I mean, it's not just the rich, but I mean, all these insurance companies, they're pretty well off. That's like the richest job to have in the world, insurance, as far as ownership, I guess, of insurance companies. And it's like, they can do whatever they want. It's just like anywhere else. It's all a business. They figured it out. They figured it out to where it's not just one company, it's all of them. I looked at Progressive. Progressive was the cheapest, okay? And it was $12 less a month. $12 less a month. And I was like, forget it. It was like, for that, I'd rather stick with the insurance company that I've been with for the last 15 years that I've trusted, okay? And not saying I don't trust Progressive, but I mean, $12, yeah, okay, it's a little bit of savings, and maybe we'll see what happens. I keep looking, I'm constantly looking, but we had a couple viewers talk about this. it was on the radio, and then at the end of the conversation, when I'm literally about ready to turn off the radio because I was like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, and then all of a sudden the guy who he was interviewing started talking about how it all starts with grocery prices. And when he was talking about these different things, he kept mentioning inflation and all these other things. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe we should start calculating all these numbers into, if we calculated all these different numbers into the entire calculation of inflation, then you can say we're in a depression here. They don't want to say that. They don't want to say that. That is why it is what it is. Is it as worse as what the Great Depression was in the 1930s? No, it's not. Not yet. Not yet. So, going back to some of these different prices, he was talking about different things in the store that he was saying that people just can't afford. He said that he had got 3 bags of groceries and spent $120. Now, I guess that depends on what you spend, but when somebody says that, usually something is calculating in the brain, okay, that is sensing that, okay, these are the same items that I've been buying for years. I've really noticed that over the last year, I'm spending almost double. And that is why it's an issue, because you are spending almost double. It's like if you were spending $10 or $20 more, then you're probably not thinking too much about it. When you're spending nearly double, yeah, it's like a no-brainer. It's like your brain is saying, what the heck is going on here? Right? I mean, and that's not just me. That's not just you. It's everybody. We're hearing of celebrities, people that got more money than they know what to do with, complaining about eggs being too high in price and other things. And, it's ridiculous. And when we have celebrities talking about or just people who have a lot of money, you don't expect them to complain about grocery prices. No, it's something that everybody needs to complain about. It's something we need to start working on to get these prices down. How do we do that? We need these billionaires and trillionaires to take a hit for the people. Unfortunately, we need them to lower some of these prices to get the economy going, get more stuff out there. There are some places where we've seen prices drop. We talk about Walmart all the time. Okay, well, Walmart has had great prices on things like clothing, socks, underwear, these kind of things that you don't normally think of. Some of these have come down in price. Somebody mentioned the other day for a thing of boxer briefs, it's $23.96 at Walmart. Well, now they're down to $19, $18.98. So that is something. Okay, and then we're finding t-shirts again for less than $10. We're finding fun t-shirts. We're finding these kind of shirts at Walmart for like $15, $20. Something that would be $40, $50 on sale at like Kohl's or something. So we are finding good deals on some clothing and stuff like that. The problem is groceries. It's something that is needed every day. We always have to eat, right? Now there's all kinds of different people leaving different comments. Grow your own food, do this, do that. There's some people who can't grow their own food. But at the same time, yeah, all these things. I like reading everybody's comments because there's always good advice. There's always good advice. There's some that may not be as useful as others, but that's okay. That's okay. We're working together to build a community on here to discuss these problems so that at least if we continue to run into this brick wall here into the future, we're able to level it out for ourselves in a way. Again, we always talk about buying up the deals, the sales. The reason why I mention this like a broken record is because these are things that we have to do. With prices that have nearly doubled on things, maybe it's a good idea, for some people, like I as far as the housing market and cars and all that stuff, it's just been a lot of talk lately in the comments. So I wanted to mention that. But there's a lot of things. Property insurance, property taxes. Property taxes go up when your housing, when the value of your house goes up, which the values of houses have gone sky high. I've talked to people where they want to sell their house and move. Move where? Move where? Sure. Sell your house for $200,000. 2-3 years ago, it's probably not worth $70,000 or $80,000, right? Now it's worth $200,000, but where are you going to go? And if you do go somewhere, how much more are you going to pay? You may have to pay another $50,000 to $100,000 to get a house that doesn't have the issues that you're dealing with within your house already. Because if there wasn't issues, you wouldn't want to move and you would just deal with it. Sometimes, right? I mean, that's kind of where we are. We're just dealing with it. We're dealing with it. Maybe not because we absolutely have to, but because we're not gonna spend unwisely on things that are gonna be for the future of the, because when me and Jessica buy a home, it's going to be our forever home. We have no plans on ever moving again. So for me to say that, we know we're going to overpay eventually. But we have all the other things that we want to do as well, right? We have a lot of travels planned. We have a lot of things that we want to do. Within that, we keep waiting and waiting and waiting, waiting for that right deal. And when that right deal comes, we will pounce on it. Absolutely. I know we know we're going to overpay. It's just what it is. When it happens, we'll wait for the right deal, for whatever decent deal we can find, or at least get everything that we want out of the deal. I need a yard, right? Because I will be growing my vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. That's in the cards, right? An area, so okay, well, you guys don't allow little bonfires on your property. Cool, I'm not buying a house there. Thanks, see ya. And that's the other bad thing, guys. A lot of housing is in an HOA these days. It's like every house that is being built is in some kind of homeowners association. We do not want that. You're not going to tell me what color to paint my house or what I can have in my yard. If me and Jessica want to have a playhouse of Christmas trees and ornaments and all this stuff for Christmas, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to have an HOA that's going to say, oh, well, no, you can't do that. Sorry. I own my house. I own the property. I'll do what I want. Right? And if there's an HOA, then we're just not going to do it. To give you an idea, we almost jumped on a house. It was a really nice house. Really nice house. It was just built, brand new. And it was in an HOA. And we started looking at the rules, and then there was it was really cheap to get you in there. Really cheap. Rules subject to change. And that was under the signature. And I'm like, Jess was already not for it. So I was like, nope, I'm not even going to entertain it. Because as soon as y'all do this, as soon as the whole neighborhood gets in here, all the different things are going to change. You can only have one tree, or these, there was just so many different little things. And it's like, nope, not doing that. Not doing that. And you may eventually overpay for something that you really want, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be paying for a place where they have to tell me what to do. And I know that's kind of what had deterred me away from Florida a lot, is a lot of those houses in Florida are all HOA. It's getting that way up here too. It's control. It's control. My home will not be controlled by anybody but me and maybe the electric company or sewer company or whatever else I have to deal with on my property. But that's it. That's it. And property taxes, I know, have gotten ridiculously over, what we were talking about before. Prices have gotten so high on people who own their homes already, right? Because their house is valued at $220,000. Well, then you're paying thousands more on your property taxes than you were a couple years ago. Which, that's not how people had planned into their lives of paying that for the remainder of their life. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And I know this video started off with me just talking about prices at the grocery store. It all starts with food. If we're all saving, if we're all spending the least amount on different things as we go along, then at least we have a little bit of extra money for some of the other things that we want or need in life. And I know, again, I sound like a broken record talking about this. I do believe after July 4th, after the last holiday until Labor Day, I'm thinking maybe a week. So probably like July 13th, maybe July 14th, maybe a week after the 4th of July. I think we're going to start seeing some price increases. So main focus of this video was to really just make sure you're aware of that. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But we've hit the June, and this is something I forgot about. The June price increases that people weren't expecting on your different housing insurance and car insurance and all this other stuff. And I think that's why we're getting comments on it. And yeah, it's ridiculously expensive. The car insurance thing is absolutely insane. Why? And and it's the only one. The funny thing is the only one we're really getting questions from, or people who are arguing about it like I am, is because you have a good record. Knock on wood, I mean, I haven't had any issues. Why am I suffering for not having, any accidents? I hate it. Knock on wood. There it is right there. Why, we've been good. We haven't had nothing. We've had no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing. You haven't had any wrecks in years. Why is my insurance going up, $400 a year? Wait a minute. $600 a year. $600 a year. Oy, oy. It's crazy to even think about. And for those of you who this is just now affected in June, I'm sorry. I hate hearing that. But yeah, I found this out in January and other people are finding it out in June. But guys, all we can do is keep moving forward. Just wanted to have this little conversation with you guys tonight about some of the different prices, what we are expecting. Again, I am basing my calculations on what happened last year. Although we've been seeing a lot of massive sales. We've been seeing a lot of good deals lately. We've had commercial after commercial. Oh, we're bringing the prices down. We're still seeing things stay where they are, which a lot of things. Like, who's seen a butter sale lately? I haven't seen butter on sale anywhere. Every now and then somewhere, but no, these are things that are like telltale signs that, okay, well, we're not going to raise the price on it, but we're not going to have sales on it either. So those of us who've been waiting a month or 2 months to buy a thing of butter to try and get it for a decent deal, and I know that if you got to spend the extra dollar, sure, whatever. But it's like, as we talk about going through prices and saving and stuff like this to get through until the next set of sales, well, that's where the issue lies. Right? Now we're not seeing the sales. Coffee, I'm not even going to get into it. We'll save that for another coffee rant. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. Interesting trip to Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.